measure, with another disciplinary action, with another management, and that was the conscience. So God said, okay, I'm going to leave you to your conscience, and let me see how much your conscience is going to be able to save you and to look after you. And what happened? Cain got up and killed his brother, biological, physical brother, Abel. Why he killed his brother Abel? Because he shut his conscience, he killed his conscience. And anytime any human being that shuts their own conscience, they will do nothing but evil. The moment the conscience is dead, every evil deed will come out of that human being. Don't ever be shocked. And when you look in the world and what is happening in the world, that just tells us all what kind of a conscience the world has. Zero conscience. That's why the world always was killing each other. So the conscience went, and then the conscience, we said innocence was at the time in the garden, as long as Adam was in the garden. Innocence was gone. He got kicked out of the garden. Then the conscience came. The conscience came from the time of Adam was kicked till the time of our father Noah, the great flood. That period, which was a period of about 2,000 years, what ruled the human race was their conscience. So it went from bad to worse to worst. And then after the great flood, the moment our father Noah came out and his family out of the ark, from the coming out of the ark came the third measure, which was the government, the ruler and the ruled. So God gave us to the innocence, didn't work. Then he gave us the conscience, didn't work. Then he said, okay, I'm gonna let people rule over people. Human beings rule over human beings. And governments, we said, they failed. I don't want to repeat what I said last week, but governments failed because instead of the government serving the people started serving the government, as we see nowadays. So the governments failed. And then today we'll look at the other measures. Now we're going to come to the fourth measure. Now the fourth measure was the measure of fatherhood and sonship. Fatherhood and sonship. Fatherhood, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Job. These four were referred to as the patriarchs. They are the fathers of the Israelite nation. So God handed the people to the fatherhood in the hope that these fathers or these patriarchs will look after the nation. But what happened to these fathers? They all failed God and failed the nation. Abraham, our father, lied and said to Pharaoh that his wife Sarah was only his sister. Abraham lied before Pharaoh, the king, and he said, Sarah is my sister, yet she was his wife. Why? Because he was fearing for his life. Pharaoh liked Sarah and he wanted to take her as a wife to himself. So Abraham said, if I tell him she is my wife, he will definitely kill me and will take her from me. So the best thing is I'll lie and I'll say she's my sister. Abraham failed. His son Isaac did exactly the same thing his father did, because children learn from their parents. So Isaac also said about his wife Rebekah that she was his sister. Whatever dad did, the son did also. Instead of the fathers teaching their children to keep God's commandments, the children learned from their fathers to break God's commandments, to break them. And this is the case till this very day, our time and age. How many times do parents teach the wrong things to their children? One of the classical wrong things that parents do, they have a child, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and somebody knocks at the door. The child goes to open the door because they love it, they want to feel important. So the child will run to open the door. The child knows that dad is at home. And he opens the door and somebody outside says, "Is your dad home?" He looks at dad and dad says, "I'll kill you if you tell him dad is home. Say dad is not home." But the child says, "I can see dad home, but he's saying to me, tell them he's not home." So then the child goes back and says, "Dad is not here." Now, at that time, his intellect was not mature enough to fathom that dad was teaching him to lie. So as that child grew older, he returned the favor to dad. So one day, the son who was 16, 17, comes back home and dad asks him, "Have you been to the school?" And the son will say, "I just came back from the school," and that was a lie. He was not at school at all. And then later on, dad finds out that his son lied to him, and they'll come angry at his son. "How dare you lie to me?" Then the son will say, "Dad, thanks to you, you taught me how to lie. Remember when I was a 4-year-old? So I'm just returning the favor." How many times parents fail their children? So the fatherhood and the sonship didn't work. And look at this. Abraham lied. "Sarah is not my wife, she is my sister." Isaac did the same thing. "Rebecca is not my wife, she is my sister." Jacob, the grandson, the son of Isaac, the grandson of Abraham. Look at this. Jacob lied to his father and stole the firstborn blessing of Esau. Jacob lied to his father and said, "I'm Esau," yet he was Jacob, just to steal the blessing of the firstborn. And what happens, my beloved? Then Jacob's children lied to their father and said, "We found the shirt of Joseph, your son. Looks like he's being devoured by vicious animals. Your son is dead." And from the moment Jacob heard that Joseph is dead, he never stopped crying until he went blind. Jacob lied to his father Isaac, who was blind at the time, and his children lied to him till he became blind. Jacob. What goes around comes around. Also, when Jacob met Esau, look at the patriarchs. They should be looking after the nation. Look what they're doing. Disaster. Also, when Jacob met Esau, you know what Esau said to Jacob? He said, "Brother, how about we start a new page? Forget about whatever has happened till this moment. You know, I forgive you and we need to move on. We're brothers." And then Jacob said, "Absolutely, dear brother. There is nothing greater than love." Amazing. Of course, we start a new page. And then Esau said to Jacob, "Let's go together, all of us together as one family. Since we are brothers, we are one family. How about we move and we go to Bethel? Let's go up to Jerusalem." And then Jacob says to Esau, "Look, I have a lot of flock with me. I'll be walking much slower than you. How about you go before me? I'll catch up with you in a week's time." And Esau says, "Not a problem, brother." So Esau goes. After a week, Jacob is not moving. His children come to Jacob, "Dad, are we going to meet with Uncle Esau again?" He said to them, "Are you kidding me? I could not believe for him just to leave so that I don't see his face ever again." Oh, so you just made up a story and you lied to your brother. So what did Jacob do? He said to his children, "We are going to dwell in this place called Shechem in Hebrew or Aramaic, Shechem or Shechem." Shechem is the Gaza Strip, the bombed Gaza Strip. That is Shechem of the Old Testament, where our beloved Palestinians lived there for quite a very long time. So he went and dwelt in Shechem, Shechem, Neapolis, the Gaza Strip. What happened? His daughter Dinah was raped by Shechem, the Hivite prince. She was raped by him. His two sons, Simon and Levi, came to their dad Jacob and they said, "Dad, this guy, if he does not receive circumcision," that was the baptism of the Old Testament. Meaning, if this guy does not convert to Judaism and follow our faith, we will kill him. So they went and they said, since you did this act, evil act towards our sister, you either convert and become like us and follow our faith as the Israelite nation, or we will kill you. So he converted. While he is recovering from his conversion, Simon and Levi, they go and kill the entire people of Shechem. They kill them all. The sons lied to their father, just like he lied to his brother. They said, if he converts, that's fine, he can marry our sister, no problem. They lied because the father lied. Jacob said, why did you do that? You said if he converts, you're going to let it go. He's going to marry your sister, and that's it. Why? They said, well, we learned from you, Dad. You said, I'm going to go and catch up with my brother Esau after a week. When we asked you, you said, no, I was just fabricating it. Well, we just returned the favor, Dad. We fabricated the story as well. It's very, very sensitive area here on how we should deal and treat one another. Very sensitive. Now, Jacob felt ashamed. His sons, murderers. He had no choice but to leave Shechem. And finally he goes up to Bethel, where Esau said to him from the very start, come, let's go now, brother. So finally he goes up to Bethel. By the way, when he goes to Shechem, I forgot to mention this. When he arrived at Shechem, he built a house for himself, Jacob and his family. Building a house meaning he settled down. That meant I am now a citizen of this city. But when he left that city and went to Bethel, when he arrived there, he pitched a tent. He didn't build a house. When he came to Shechem and built a house, God appeared to him, appeared to Jacob. Jacob asked God, what is your name? God replied and said, why are you asking for my name? God did not give him his name, did not reveal his name to Jacob. When Jacob left Shechem and went to Bethel, he pitched a tent, not a house. And a tent, what does that mean? A tent is for those who say we are total strangers. We pitch it here, tomorrow we pack it up, we go elsewhere and we pitch it again and we pack it up, because the entire land is not ours. We are total strangers. But when you build the house, you're putting strong foundations into the ground. You're saying, I belong to this ground. Yet you don't. The earth is not yours. The world is not yours. So when he pitched that tent, God immediately came and spoke to Jacob again. And without Jacob saying anything, the moment God revealed himself to Jacob in Bethel, he says to him, I am God the Almighty. God is saying to Jacob and to all of us, when you are in the wrong, even if you ask for my name, I will never reveal my name to you. But the day you stop being in the wrong and coming and living in the right, you do not need to ask for my name. I will reveal my name without you asking for it. But don't ever think I'll reveal my name when you are living wrongly, when you are walking wrongly, when you are behaving wrongly. I'll never reveal my name. But the moment you fix yourself and come back to me and repent and say, God, I'm sorry, forgive me for my sins. I want to be right with you. I don't want to wrong you anymore, Lord. You don't need to ask him, who are you? Where are you? Show me yourself. He'll do it without a word uttered from you. He'll do it himself.